air gets worse, not only does handling go away, but how does your car, you see the 18, huge
up into the wall. Kyle Busch in the 18 destroying that car.
Clearly had a mechanical issue or a tire go down. I mean, clearly that just something happened. Something happened.
Yeah, right here blew out.
For a hit like that, great to see Kyle jump right up out of the car.
Happened to that tire. Watch the right rear.
Yeah,
Couldn't see it in that.
Puff,
just a little puff. That's when it blew out. And
such hard contact too. So thankful for the safer barriers.
Absolutely.
The fact that there's some styrofoam in there that absorbs some of that hit, but still the damage to that car.
Watch this view. You can see when the back of the car comes out, you're going to see a little explosion, a little puff. That's the tire blowing, and also the debris coming from when it blows out, hitting stuff in the car. Right. There it goes. The tire's down. Now the back of the car goes right. You have to turn the car to the right, or it's going to spin out. You turn it to the right. Now you don't have a right rear on the car. That little bit of right wheel input made the car turn right. But that's what you have to do as a driver. And again, it's when you
is slow on the racetrack. It looked as though Landon Castle was going to try to make it to pit road, but then didn't, and then was slow ever since he left that opening, and now is making his way onto the apron of the race.
Cycle the ECU and all those kind of things.
Restrictor plate racing, 4 wins, and we've got trouble behind him, Rick. Around they go.
Stay down, go up.
It looked like it was Eric Almirola that was the first to go sideways and then collecting numerous cars behind him. May have been the one of Jamie McMurray. It was a light blue car. Chase Elliott. That's Sun Energy 1. Caught up the window net down for him. Paul Menard in the 27. Jamie McMurray trying to get it going the right direction. Kevin Harvick is involved around this racetrack. The 7 also. Regan. Brian Scott climbing out of the Jamie McMurray.
Johnson. Jimmy comes up, and then McMurray actually comes down and gets onto the left front. It's on from there. I mean, we talked about it earlier. As soon as somebody makes a mistake and you're in this big pack of cars, you're going to take a lot of people with you. It's just how it happens. Some of these cars riding around the back actually got in the wreck as well. So one mistake by a driver, a mistake by 2 drivers, and this is what happens. It's not just those 2.
And a bump there by the 48. The back bumper of Jamie McMurray. 78 of Martin Truex Jr. caught up. Danica Patrick also. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88. Brian Scott up on the hood of the 4 of Kevin Harvick. Chris Buescher, 23-year-old out of Prosper, Texas, was involved. Also that 46 of Michael Annett. Another Midwesterner.
Big impact. Jamie Murray hit really hard. Ended up getting clipped in the rear, turned him to the right. Hard impact, and all these cars, he had nowhere to go.
Of course, Jimmy.
And we're on board with Jamie McMurray. You see him just saw the wheel, that small movement. He just couldn't save it. Hard impact, and look at the multiple impacts. Another shot. 3 big hits for Jamie McMurray. Gets his hands off the wheels, so as the wheel goes left and right, it doesn't catch his thumb or a finger. On board here with Dale Earnhardt Jr. You hear him out of the gas.
Take it up.
Just nowhere to go. He drives through the accident, but a lot of...
All 4 Hendrick cars involved. Casey Kane as well. A lot of damage to the 48, the 78.
And the frustration of speedway racing is this is it. 2 drivers, Jimmy Johnson and Jamie McMurray, get into one another. Just mistakes. And their mistakes are going to cause a poor night for 15,
half the
16,
field.
17 cars. Yeah.
We're at almost 19 cars that I've counted.
And look at Kevin Harvick, how far underneath Brian Scott he is. And the rear tires are on the roof of the 4 car.
Matt DiBenedetto in the 83 is up underneath the 4. And the sparks flying. So much sheet metal damage.
And things happen so quickly. But you can see the 1 car 48 moves up, and at the same time, now the 1 starts moving down, just barely clips him. Then he gets into the side of his teammate. Then he has to slow down to keep him wrecking, and the 48 gets into the back of him. So kind of it looked like to me at the same time, they just kind of got together. The 48 moved up, the 1 moved down, and it started every bit.
Jimmy was thinking 3 wide, and the 1 didn't think he would be in that lane. On board with Kevin Harvick. You mentioned the 44. You hear him out of the gas, on the brakes. But there's absolutely nowhere to go. You see his view, a car on his windshield.
All right.
Look at the 34, how fast he's coming in there. 31.
Yep, 31 also.
Ryan Newman, he gets into the back of Greg Biffle. I mean, all these cars have significant damage. The 16 of Biffle, of all the cars that got hit significantly, he probably has the least amount of damage if it didn't damage the fuel cell.
20 of Kenseth.
A lot of big names in this wreck.
Absolutely.
See Danica in it. She was a lap. She had just gotten lapped.
There's the damage to the 4 of Kevin Harvick. The hood folded.
Try Carl's Way with spinach. The Subway sandwich shop. Fresh is what we do.
How long were you a slave of Rome?
5 years.
What is your name?
Ben-Hur. My family was betrayed by my own brother. I won't let him go unpunished.
You have no idea what you've done! Defeat him in the arena, and you'll have your vengeance.
Just got loose. Collected the 13 and the 19 with damage.
Yeah, I feel like he had to cut a tire, had to run over something as quickly as that car came around. There was some sort of a problem. Yeah, he had a tire go down, I'm sure. Probably ran over something. The 13 car, Casey Mears, having a great night with a chance to win, gets into it.
Maybe not a lot of damage on the 13 or the 19, but plenty of damage on the 14 as we ride along.
Watch Tony's hands. Watch his hands. Drives in the corner. He knows he has a problem right there. So, yeah, that was more than just being free on entry. He had some sort of a problem. You can see he knew it. He had to turn the wheel to the right. Then you saw the big correction. Certainly some sort of a mechanical issue or a tire down.
.13 Casey Mears, as you mentioned, having a great night, nowhere to go. Ryan Blaney, that seems like that is pretty severe contact on the right front of Ryan Blaney's car. 19 of Carl Edwards, a lot of damage. The 6 of Trevor Bayne gets pretty fortunate here. Just a little bit of damage so far. Really, I think that won't hurt the 6 as much.
So the
side drafting, well, that only works if you can get
up to the wall. And the 19 back across, and he'll get into the wall as well. It was A.J. Allmendinger that first hit the wall. Now the caution is out.
Sorry, man. They hit the wall, and I told you 21 ran over you. Jumped on the gas. I'll take blame for that one.
Also damage to Bobby Labonte. We saw early that was A.J. Allmendinger in the 47 that got up it. Then the 19 of Carl Edwards did get in. Again, the 47 of A.J. Allmendinger comes up the racetrack.
Yep.
Has a little help there.
Yeah, the 42 and the 15 got together first, and that got the 15 up the racetrack, and that's what started it.
Yeah, and then the chain reaction. The 19 looks like he got out of the gas. The 21 was behind him. Didn't get out of the gas as quick. Got into the bumper of the 19. That's just the chain reaction.
Yeah, this starts. See the 42? 42 checked up. The 15 was in the back of him. He got up the racetrack. 10, 12 cars behind. These guys getting the wreck. Had nothing to do with the start of it, but they got the worst of it.
Fifth
Dale Earnhardt Jr., you see the bounce off the wall in front of him. He's out of the gas.
Just brush the wall. Everything's good. Everything's good. Second. Go low. Keep coming. Come on. Toss us out.
DJ Major, spotter for Dale Earnhardt Jr.
He could with a little damage on his race car.
They'll see the finish line. Brad Keselowski out front. Around goes Kurt Busch. Keselowski's going to hang on. Keselowski wins at Daytona.
Thank you, guys. Great team effort today. Very proud. Thank you.
On NBCSN, over an hour of coverage. The NASCAR America post-race show presented by Advanced Auto Parts, followed by NASCAR Victory Lap. Coming up next on NBC, your late local news except on the West Coast, and later tonight, Saturday Night Live with host Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, along with musical guest Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
So they're going to jockey very aggressively for position before the competition yellow.
And Elliott's out.
Oh, the 6 of Darrell Wallace Jr. is going to go around. He catches the 48. The big one happens in front. 2 of Austin Dillon is collected. 3 of Ty Dillon gets through.
Definitely left front damage.
Brennan Poole involved in the 48. You see the 19 part. Daniel Suarez.
But you see right here, there's a gap between the 6 and the 48. As that gap starts to close, the 48 hits him once, everything's fine. And then he hits him a second time closer to the right rear corner, and you see that starts to move the tail of the 6 from left to right. Darrell Wallace Jr. does the best he can to regain control, but at these speeds he loses control, gets into the 20, and then you start to see just back and forth. You see the 19 and Daniel Suarez as it leaves the screen, almost has it collected. The 2, great to see that car come back onto the ground. We saw cars go airborne in Talladega. That car could have easily went up into the air and flipped over. The roof flaps open, the cowl flaps open, set the 2 back on the ground.
That was the contact Eric Jones felt.
Hold it.
Eric Jones. Go around, and then the contact there.
We just got caught in the right rear. We made it through it, but then we got clipped in the right rear. Going to come to you with the right side damage, guys.
NASCAR. We're seeing a lot of bump drafting already. What's it been like out there so far?
I mean, it's part of it. The cars line up fine, so you just kind of have to know when you're pushing a guy sideways, I guess, is the biggest thing. I mean, when you get to somebody, you want to be lined up square and push them straight.
It's contact from the 25 car, looked like to me.
Well, we talked about a little bit earlier how tough the tri oval can be, and that started in the tri oval. It looked like the 25 either thought he was clear or the car got tight and pushed up. For some reason, it started to change lanes, got into the quarter panel of the other car, causing the accident.
Yeah, the 25 of Scott Lagasse Jr. moved up the racetrack. That's the yellow hood on that car, moved up the racetrack.
And you don't know if he was trying to get in behind him, or as you talked about, you're in the trial where the car gets a little bit light. Maybe he lost the front of his car, had to chase it up the racetrack. Not real sure, but obviously contact started with him.
Alex Boinette in the 97.
Right there, Ray Black Jr. in that white, blue, red car, those 7. When you're up against the wall and somebody comes into the side of you and hits you like that, that is a big impact. It doesn't look as dramatic as, say, Kyle Busch's wreck looked.
Touch with how fast they're going because these drivers do such a great job of running.
Is going to hit the inside wall. That is the 19 of.
So there might be contact between the 2 cars. It looks at this point that the tires are still up until they lock up. We can't see the left front. You see the right front below there as it slides across the pavement. But right here, you're going to see a great shot of the impact. Watch the soft wall. Watch how much it deforms as that 19 hits it. You're going to see how it absorbs the energy right here. Big hit. Great where he hit. You know, a few farther feet down, that wall turns back out to allow the safety vehicles come in and out. Luckily, he hit where he did.
You see right here, he got up the racetrack. I don't know if he had a problem prior to that. Obviously, he either had a tire going down or a handling issue. He got up the racetrack, got into the car beside him, and that got him going in this direction. Big impact.
Yeah.
The car wasn't right. The car was just super tight. I wasn't able to go anywhere. And at that point, I was just in the middle of in the 3 wide. I was in the bottom, but when somebody was on my right side, my car was getting super, super tight. I don't know who was.
Giving a shove to Eric Almirola, and into the wall goes David. David Reagan slamming into the wall.
Behind you, no caution yet. Outside.
Darrell Wallace Jr. quick across the inside wall. The caution has not come out.